On the Barrel Podcast with Jimmy, Dino, and Jared.
All right. Minnesota hunting regulations for 2026. We have some new stuff to talk about, some big things and some small things, some controversial things and some not so controversial. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the 3-letter acronym, CWD, which everybody has an opinion on that.
We all do. Everyone agrees on that, right?
Right.
Oh,
that's the wrong button, Dean.
Where is it?
I don't know. Just start pushing them. We'll find it.
That's kind of the wrong one.
Keep going.
I know. Chimes.
Wow.
Oh, that's CWD. That's a good. Ooh, I like that.
CWD.
Can anyone do an Elmo voice?
I'm too sober to try that.
Yeah.
I don't want to make that big of a fool out of myself.
I feel like we're talking about the letter of the day.
Mm-hmm. The letter of the day.
Give us those little
You want the chimes? All right, here we go.
Letter of the day.
CWD. And everybody it makes everybody so happy.
It sure does.
Right.
All right, that's enough with the sounds. Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like it. It's fun.
I don't know. We got bored.
Yeah. So they have a new way to test for chronic wasting disease.
Well, not a new way to test. A new sampling protocol.
Right.
Yes.
I like those words. Say that again.
Sampling protocol. Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. And so basically what they're doing now, and we just found out about this, the press release went out Monday. They informed us of it last week with very little opportunity for input on, zero opportunity for input on the policy itself.
Tell me what's going to happen.
Yeah, it was, here's what's happening. Give us some input on how to soften the blow, basically.
Right.
And so, we found out last week, and that press release went out Monday. And the new sampling protocol is that they're going to divide the state into 4 quadrants.
Right.
And it's mandatory testing for any deer harvested 1 year or older. Only opening weekend of firearms season.
Right.
And this year it's starting off in southwest Minnesota. Then it'll move to northwest, and then I believe northeast, and then southeast.
Right.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of questions coming in about this because, especially starting in the southwest, this is an area that has never been tested. And so the hunters down there really are not familiar with the protocols that we are up here,
Right.
But that is kind of their intention behind it, is to start testing in areas that have never been tested. We've been doing these samples now for 20 some years, and we've never really had an intensive effort in that part of the state to make sure that our herd is healthy down there. So,
and if you're not in that area, they still are encouraging voluntary testing.
Voluntary testing is still available. The at-home test kits, super easy to use. Instructions are very clear. You can get those through your local DNR office. You can get them from us. But
it's not terribly difficult to test. I mean, I did it
super easy
last year. It takes you a minute, but it does. Well, it takes, you got to make a incision.
Yeah.
A deep one.
Yeah.
And find the certain parts, the lymph nodes, right?
Lymph nodes, yeah.
So if you can identify a lymph node, then you're golden.
Yeah. And they're
relatively easy.
Very easy. Just right behind the jawbone there.
Right. And I made the cut and I was within centimeters the first time I ever tried it. So it's not horrible. And then you got to UPS them in.
Yes.
And they come in prepaid things. You don't got to pay anything.
Yep. Yeah. And you get your results within 7 to 10 to 14 days.
It takes a minute, but you do get a result, it's reassuring, I guess. But by the time I had my result, I think I already had some venison in my stomach.
You were at least, if you hadn't eaten it yet, it was thawed out and being cooked.
Right.
Because I do remember that.
So it does take a minute, but yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, I've never tested.
Never?
Nope.
Yeah.
Well, you've never gotten a deer on opening weekend then.
Right. And I'm not testing.
Yeah.
So
just one of those that doesn't care. Yeah.
Yep.
there's plenty out there, right? And I've had deer that I haven't tested. I've had plenty that I have tested, some that I've been required to test.
Right.
Right.
And, I do appreciate that it's relatively simple to test if you want to.
Yeah. Well, yeah, especially if you're cutting up your deer already. I mean, you're already in there.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, it's a big change in that it's going to affect a lot more hunters than it has in the past.
Right. Did they give any reasoning behind why they were changing that policy?
The primary reason was what I just stated, that we have parts of the state that we have not had a case detected, and therefore there has been no testing. And there was no method of requiring testing in those areas.
They're getting probably very few volunteer people in that.
Which why would they? Because it's not really in their minds.
Yeah, if you're hunting down there, you're like, well, CWD is not here. Why would I test for it? And so this is a way of getting a better sample of those
statewide.
Areas. Yeah.
But if my memory serves me correctly, the one they found over by Climax area, that was a volunteer test.
It was.
And he just decided, hey, I've got this test.
It was actually, and this area may also be hearsay, but it was actually, so the DNR has a partner program with game processors and taxidermists, right? And I believe it was a taxidermist that had said, hey, this is an option available to you. Like, would you mind if we sent in a sample? And the hunter said, yeah, why not? Let's find out. And, and yeah, it was a positive deer.
Yeah, I think you might be right on that.
Gotcha.
And yeah, so with this change, those partner programs with your processors or your taxidermists, they're still available to you. The at-home tests are still available to you. Anywhere where CWD has been detected already, you're still able to do those tests. The disease management tags will still be available. I made sure to clarify that in any of those CWD management areas.
The 600 areas.
The 600 zones where there's a 2 deer or more limit.
So if it's a 600 zone where it's only 1 deer limit, then
there's no disease management tag.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, our area, my area.
Yeah.
Well, but you're within city limits.
Well, yeah, that's different for me because of where I live. But I mean, overall, the 679 zone.
Correct. Is. Yep.
So a 1 deer limit.
But that's no change from last year.
Right.
The disease management only applied within.
And I honestly thought that 679 was going to be cleared for that scents.
Yeah, that's feeding. What we were talking about. Right. And then it's
still listed on the new reg book.
Yeah.
So I don't understand the process to be removed from that when they haven't had any positive tests in 4 years or more.
And my other question when it comes to that, with the scent and stuff like that,
feeding and attractant
ban. Yeah. So that is we still can't use that, but now with the carcass disposal. So those rules have changed.
Yes.
Which I actually am in favor of that.
I'm in favor of that as well. But my question is, of course, there's a lot of questions, but before you couldn't, you didn't want to dispose of any deer on public land, stuff like that, because of all the stuff that's in it, and it's going to infect the soil. And that is another reason why we can't, use scents and attractants. But yet now we can just dispose of the deer
on private land.
Mm-hmm. But yet we can't use scents and attractants.
Right.
Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I do. Yeah.
So it's still it's confusing to people.
It is,
in my mind,
for sure. And I mean, I'm going to be honest. It's somewhat confusing to me as well.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a really interesting topic. Right.
It is.
So as far as the carcass disposal goes, they made a significant change last year with a legislative change to allow, carcasses harvested out of state to be brought in and to leave your hunting area as long as they go to a licensed processor or taxidermist within 48 hours. Right. And that was to ensure that those carcasses I feel like it should be like carcass eye, but it's not. It's carcasses. Are disposed of properly, right?
Yeah.
And so that's where I think the key is here is that we're still looking at proper carcass disposal. So as long as you're following those practices, there is no difference from that legislative change that we saw last year.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, it does say hunters harvest deer on private land may leave the carcass on private property.
As long as it's the private property where the deer was harvested.
Yes. Yep.
Right.
Because that deer's there already. What does it matter if it stays there?
Correct.
You know, I guess that makes sense.
And that does make sense.
Yeah. But I couldn't, harvest a deer down at my family cabin
And bring it up.
bring it home and dispose of it on my property here. I could put it in my trash can here or bring it to my landfill here.
Right.
But yeah, as long as if it's the carcass is staying where it was shot, it was there anyway.
Right.
Yep. So it does make sense.
Yep. Gotcha.
So what do you think brought the changes on? I mean, it seems like I've been hearing more and more changes coming from the DNR about how they're handling the CWD issue. First I heard down in southeast Minnesota that they weren't doing the culling anymore.
Right.
And now they're changing this up. Is that political? Is that scientific? I mean, what's driving the change in methods?
Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head a bit there with the southeast part of Minnesota becoming what they're calling an endemic zone, where conventional mitigation efforts are no longer deemed effective. That really prompted them to reevaluate the strategy, right? So southeast Minnesota, we know CWD is there. It's been there for a while, and it's here to stay, right? If we're being honest. So now what they're doing is shifting their resources and the funding, the grant funding and all of that they're bringing in to try to get ahead of that endemic zone expansion, right? Because it realistically, it doesn't take a whole lot for the endemic southeastern CWD to make it over to southwestern Minnesota.
Right.
But we've never really robustly tested southwestern Minnesota.
True.
And that's entirely why they're starting this year with Southwest.
Right. Yep.
So that's kind of, I think, what's prompting the change is we got behind the 8 ball on the Southeast, for a variety of factors, and we want to not replicate that in other areas.
But do you think they'll find out that honestly that we're basically the same as Wisconsin? We just haven't done all the testing.
No.
You don't think so?
I don't think it's as bad as Wisconsin, correct?
Yeah, I don't.
To my understanding.
But the Southeast isn't it?
Southeast is,
It's
not. It's not, right?
It's not?
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I want to say the threshold for being classified as an endemic zone, I want to say 2% harvest rate, right? Or like 2% positive on harvested deer. Wisconsin, there's many counties where it's 50%.
Right.
So 2% is endemic, huh?
I need to verify this, but I know it's like shockingly low compared to those counties in Wisconsin.
Right.
So we're better than Wisconsin is what you're saying.
Duh.
Well, we're better in every way.
Right. I mean,
Exactly.
I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like Wisconsin, we love to hate them.
Right.
Because they deserve it.
Exactly.
I mean, I hate to hate them. Just hate them.
Yeah.
Right. They're just worse at most everything.
Most
I
everything.
mean, they make good cheese.
Do they though?
I don't know. I made that up.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think they just buy cheese here and bring it over there.
they might. They probably do order from like Land O'Lakes. All right. So CWD, everybody's favorite topic.
Oh.
Nobody ever argues about this.
Never.
We're all on the same page.
Yep.
I mean, it's an issue.
It's a big issue.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that everybody has an opinion on, and nobody really has his facts because it's tough to have the facts.
It is tough. And then as we get closer to season, as we've seen on social media, you you've got reports from doctors or scientists that say one thing, then other people say this, other people say that, and so it's hard to really understand and believe what's what.
Well, I think it's like everything.
And the truth.
It's usually somewhere in the middle.
It really is.
I think that it's not the end of our deer population, and I don't think it's something you should just disregard totally either.
No, it is inarguably a real disease.
Right. Well, yeah, you can literally look through it and see it at a microscope.
It is a real thing. It does impact our deer herd health.
Right.
It takes time for that to have a visible effect on the population.
Right.
We have started to see that in Wisconsin. And it's something that we don't want to replicate here.
Right. Absolutely. Anything that happened in Wisconsin, we do not want to replicate here in Minnesota.
Exactly. That's how you end up with Brett Favre.
And yeah,
which we tried to replicate.
That did spread to Minnesota.
Wait. You do want to replicate one thing.
No. What?
Didn't they win a Super Bowl?
They won a bunch of them.
Yeah. Back when there were like 9 teams.
They won the first one.
Yeah, when there were like 3 teams.
Right. And then
did they even throw the ball back then?
The Bears.
Actually, they beat the Chiefs. But then they won one in the 2000 era.
Yeah, Brett Favre won some.
Yeah,
he almost won one for us. But
Favre was great, but then we tried to replicate it, and
he that's what happens when you get an old
interception.
Guy.
And that's how you learn. You do not replicate what happens in Wisconsin.
Yeah, you get a guy on your way out.
Right. And I back to CWD and not how much we hate Wisconsin. Right. I did just look it up. It's 5%.
5%
rate was the threshold that we met. Endemic. Yep. So we are now just over 5% in Southeast Minnesota.
Right.
And they're classifying that as an endemic zone, shifting that.
Well, what'd you say Wisconsin was?
Certain counties
50
is 50%.
Okay. So there's a considerable difference there.
Huge.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, insane.
So
And CWD is one of these things, again, that gets, it pulls at everybody's heartstrings, and it gets, because there's so much information and disinformation out there that you don't know what to believe, honestly.
Right.
That's the hard part.
Right.
And we all know that, and we've all seen it, and you can believe what you want to believe, but we all know that doctors and some scientists, they'll put out a statement because of who sponsored them,
who funds
who funds it. And that's just, and that's been like that for everything, every disease,
everything
whatever.
Has inherent bias.
Yep.
Right.
Because I have different beliefs than a lot of people as well.
Yes, and you should continue to keep those to yourself because they are ridiculous.
I think I probably a lot of hunters will agree with me.
Yeah. All right. Well, Bigfoot does not fly a spaceship.
Not a spaceship, but he might fly because you've never seen it,
and he has CWD. Nobody's ever tested the Bigfoot.
That's how it gets transferred. We found it.
Right.
We found the missing link for CWD.
Right. Alien big feet.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. When they fly, it's hard to really control the population.
But no, to your point, if you dig hard enough on any topic, you will find what's commonly referred to as confirmation bias.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You will find a study, a whatever that just solidifies the belief that you came into that research already holding. So what the general scientific community does and should do is look at all of the studies, right? And find that common denominator. And that common denominator is that CWD is a real disease.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It should receive resources and funding to study and mitigate as much as possible, because we do not know what this is capable of becoming. Right. And I'm going to be very clear here. Yes, there has never been a single case of CWD transferring to humans. Right. But you could say the same thing at certain points in time of every disease out there.
Right.
Right. At some point, you get that genetic drift or whatever it is that allows that disease to inhabit another type of life.
Yeah.
And so I'm not saying that that's inevitable. I'm not saying that that's happening with CWD, but I am saying that we should be cautious about it, right? We should monitor it. We should take steps to limit the spread of it as much as possible. And that's what MDHA has helped to support. That's what I think is the intention behind the new policy change within the DNR, or the monitoring change and the regulations. So yeah, it's we'll see how this goes. Right. It's going to be a big change for a lot of hunters that have never had to deal with CWD testing or any of that. And
it's really not that big of a deal to do the testing.
Easy.
My concern is, obviously the more you test, you might find, and I'm hoping they don't, some more cases. And then those folks are going to have to deal with some of the regulations that we deal with, like in our area with the baiting. Well, not baiting, feeding.
Attractant.
Feeding. Because you can't feed deer here no matter any time of year anymore.
Right.
And we have a lot of senior places, and boy, they love feeding their deer to watch them out the windows, and they can't do that anymore. But
and the attractant ban. I mean, I don't know. I guess my main thing is, so we've been looking at this thing for how long now?
Years.
More than 20 years. Definitely more than 20 years. 70s, 80s.
Well, I think the first confirmed case in Minnesota was 2004.
Right. But it was in Pennsylvania.
It started initially discovered in Colorado.
Yeah. Mule deer, right?
Elk farm?
Or was it mule deer? I think it was
might have been mule deer. So I guess my thing is okay, so it's been around for how long? Why haven't we done
forever?
Right. And it probably has, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't they figure it out? I get it's prion. Obviously, we're not scientists, and prions apparently are.
We should
really
probably have a disclaimer that nobody here is a
prions
scientist.
are really hard to figure out.
And
apparently,
please talk to an expert before you.
Because and that's what we would love to have on here, somebody who can explain it a little bit better as to what's going on.
Yeah, I think we also need to look at this issue of timescales. Like we're very much operating in this discussion on a single generation human timescale,
right?
And it's like 30 years. That's pretty fucking frustrating. We should figure this out, right? Mm-hmm. And that's not necessarily how science works, how genetics work,
Right. But there's also some stuff that they have figured out in that time,
for sure,
that are pretty close to the same. We all know that. The scapies in sheep is close to it. Granted, again, we're not scientists, but
very,
it was
very close.
Similar.
Yes, very similar. And they were able to breed that out through genetic resistance.
And I would assume they kind of tried that with this, and it just didn't work.
Well, there are people currently trying that, right?
Yeah.
But the difference here is with sheep, we're talking about a captive, domesticated population, right? It's very easy to have control over those genetics, and selectively breed for resistance, right? And there have been some studies that have shown you can selectively breed for genetic resistance within white-tailed deer, but that's in a captive setting, right? How does that translate to a wild population? And the bigger question that I think more people need to be asking is, if you are selectively breeding for that genetic resistance to CWD, what are you compromising in that process?
Right.
Because
what else are you weakening?
Species have evolved to. A lot of people don't like that word. Species have evolved or been created for a specific purpose within our landscape, right? And as soon as you start artificially manipulating that, which is what selective breeding is, right? That is artificially manipulating genetics. what are you compromising for the sake of what you are breeding for?
Right. That you won't find out for another 20, 30, 40 years.
Yes, you might be more resistant to CWD, but maybe now you're 2 times more susceptible to EHG.
Right.
You know, who knows?
Yep.
It could be anything. It could be a disease we've never heard of, right? So that's where we got to be really cautious when we look at those studies and those programs.
Right.
Because in general, Mother Nature tends to have the best approach for selectively.
She'll find a way.
Right.
She always does in the long run.
Yeah.
Well, and to that point as well, like you said, you know, northern Minnesota is not white-tailed deer. You know, once you get further north, it's not white-tailed deer habitat.
No.
As much as, you know, it's becoming more and more just with, you know, selective harvest, stuff like that, you know, but it originally was not white-tailed deer.
Right.
It was elk, caribou.
Woodland caribou.
Yeah,
I would love
exactly.
to get them back.
Right.
Wouldn't that be fun?
So I understand. Yeah.
I love
that
the taste of
has
caribou.
how you can change that. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just that, that 3-letter word.
Well, everybody has opinion.
It's a tough one.
I think there's valid input from both sides, maybe.
I think so.
Or valid concerns.
Valid questions.
Questions.
Yep, concerns.
I think questions are good. But
I think so too.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
well, and I genuinely appreciate all of the contributions to this topic, right? I don't care if you are a deer farmer that is all in on selective breeding, right? And breeding for genetic resistance to CWD. I think that is a valuable contribution to this topic, to this study, to this issue. I also don't think we are anywhere near a point in time where we should take that as gospel and say,
God, no.
Let's breed for, you know, these deer, these genetics, and just decimate our wild herd and release these in the population. Right. You know, like there's no way we can do that at this point.
So let me ask you, Jared, what is your biggest concern with CWD right now? Not in the future. I mean, like right now, what's your biggest concern? I mean, when you think of CWD, what keeps you up at night?
It's a really tough question to answer, and I feel like it requires 3 different answers.
Oh, 3. Wow.
Yeah. First you got the C, then you got the W.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we'll start with the C, you know, C for conservation, let's say.
Right.
You know,
Damn, he is good.
He's not bad. Let's see where he takes W and the D, though.
Yeah, I know. That's all right. We're going to
see how good he really is.
All right.
So let's start for C, which is conservation. And this is a big question that I don't think any hunter would disagree with, me posing this question. And that is conservation funding going towards CWD research.
Okay.
You know, how are we maximizing the efficacy of those dollars, and making sure that we're getting the return on that investment, because there have been a lot of studies out there on how CWD spreads and, you know, what impact that's having on our white-tailed deer herd. And I think we need to ensure that those studies are being utilized properly into our management strategies.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's where organizations like MDHA and many, many others really have a key foothold there, right? Is we are kind of that, I don't want to say counterbalance but we're kind of that check on how this funding is being implemented and making sure it is matching tangible results, right? On what hunters want to see in the field. Trying to think of a W here. Let's see.
Well, I was going to say before that, it should be noted that MDHA does not receive any of this funding grants for this CWD studies
and have you ever?
We have never received any grants for CWD funding. We've never given any funding for CWD research.
Right.
We have, you know, supported those efforts.
Right.
By support, I mean, like, yeah, let's find out what's happening. I'll write a letter that says like, hey, X donor, let's
Right.
Let's fund this research.
We think this is a good idea to study this kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, how can you argue against that?
Right.
All right. So to the W.
W.
What starts with W besides Wolvers?
I was going to say the what if or the what can or what how.
The what?
Or the who.
That's good. I do.
But
like
you know what else starts with W? Whitetail.
Whitetail. Okay. Well, I was just going to go with why.
Okay.
Why?
Like, why does this matter? And I think this is where I've gotten pushback for expressing this sentiment in the past, but there are numerous studies that have shown this, and we've touched on it already today. But why is it important that we are studying this?
Mm-hmm.
And that is because of the potential transfer to humans, as well as the potential impact on our whitetail deer herd, right?
Right.
Because we still do not know. And
Well, I think that's one and the same. If it ever transferred to humans, I mean, whitetail deer hunting is done.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Yeah.
I think it's a valid point. As a hunter, if that ever happened, we'd be in some big trouble.
We would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think that's why it's important, right? Is even if we were to take the more Wisconsin approach of let's do nothing,
Right.
we should understand why we're doing nothing, right? And what impact that is going to have.
Right.
Because
Prepare for nothing. Yeah, that makes sense, honestly. If you're going to do nothing, you got to prepare for what's going to happen when you do nothing.
Yeah.
exactly.
And you hope and pray Mother Nature does her job.
Yeah.
And eventually it'll work its way out, which.
All right. And the third thing that keeps me up at night, and I think this is probably the biggest one, and I'm going to try to make it start with D to keep on theme here.
So you're going to spell like I do, right?
Remember, W starts with D.
It does.
No. So I would say it's more like the heritage, the tradition, but we'll call it a dynasty
Okay.
because that
God,
that kind of fits in, right? You know,
I mean, that could make it work.
Gets us the D. Right?
All right.
So let's call it the dynasty of hunting, outdoors, conservation.
Why not just go deer hunting dynasty?
Deer hunting legacy? Sure.
Oh,
Legacy.
wow,
That's
legacy.
a much
Definitely starts with a D when you say deer hunting legacy.
that's a much easier way to get from A to Z. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the general sentiment, right? Is we have such a strong tradition in the state of Minnesota,
100%.
in the Midwest, in the U.S., right?
Mm-hmm.
Like literally a country founded on hunting and
Absolutely.
Yeah.
thanks to my hero, Teddy Roosevelt, like conservation,
Mhm.
right? And I think that is where this CWD issue, the crux of it is, right? Is we want to preserve a legacy of hunting and conservation. And I don't want the fear of this disease to prevent people from engaging in that pastime.
Right.
And I think that has happened.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
And I want to see us reverse that trend. And I'm hopeful that this new strategy by the DNR will. I could have just used DNR for D.
I actually was going to say that, but I was like, I don't know if we want to use
No,
that.
we don't want to use that. But I'm hopeful
but it
that
fits.
this new
It does
strategy,
fit.
because we are requiring testing in areas where there's never been robust testing. Maybe that gives people a little bit more peace of mind to go out there, engage in the outdoors, harvest an animal, and enjoy the greatest protein that exists
I
on
love it.
planet Earth.
Mhm.
Yep.
So that's where the D comes in: dynasty, heritage,
Right.
deer hunting.
I guess I'll make one point with that since we're going with the DNR is if they find one case, it changes how everything happens, right?
Not anymore.
No? Is it different now?
Well, that's according to this new policy.
So they find one deer in southwest Minnesota. Are they going to give us another DPA of 600?
There's so much to still be answered here,
Okay.
right?
So they didn't clarify that yet.
Well, my understanding is it would fall under like we will be this year. We are a 600 zone right here in Grand Rapids. We won't be required to test opening weekend firearms. And so if they find a positive down in Southwest this year, it'll be recommended to self-test. But I don't believe it'll be required because under this new guideline,
it'll change every year.
It'll be Northwest.
Right.
But they will probably throw on the attractant.
Right. That's my question. Because I don't see that myself, how helpful that is.
And I agree with that. I personally do not agree with the attractant and feeding ban end of it.
I mean, I can see a little bit on the feeding, but on the attractants, attractants are great. And we have some great sponsors that make some great attractants.
Yeah.
But I don't have a line of deer coming to my stand when I use them.
No. And with the feeding thing, they eat the same stuff. They eat food. You can have a food plot. You can have this. What's the difference than throwing?
What's the difference between the soybean field next to my house when there's 30 deer out there?
Right.
All within,
that's my whole thing.
40 yards of each other.
And we know deer yard up in the wintertime. So, and they touch noses, they communicate. They're, they
don't have to even touch. They just have to be in the same soil.
Right.
So I think those are valid questions. And I have them, you have them. But that's my question is they find one deer in the Southwest, Northwest. Are we getting more 600 zones? And I think that I'm not 100% agreeing with that. And maybe they changed that to where that's not an issue. But you find one here, one there. Our whole state could be in a 600 zone then.
Right.
And I think that would be detrimental to certain industries.
For sure.
I agree. And I don't ever see the DNR going the whole state as a 600 zone. I think they would adjust like they did down in the Southeast before that were to happen. And I think this is partially a response to that is this new change.
Right. And I think that where I am seeing these changes, they're evolving, which is good. They're realizing, new ways are needed and the old ways maybe weren't the best. It was a response to like a knee-jerk reaction. So that's what I'm hoping to.
Yeah.
But and maybe we'll get some clarification on that in the next several months.
Right. But I do agree with you on the attractive ban. In theory, I get it. We don't want deer artificially congregating and spreading disease.
Right.
But also, we're in northern Minnesota. If I put let's give a shout out to our friends over at Wildlife Research here.
Yeah.
If I put a Scentwick, or what do they call that?
The rope.
The rope. Yeah.
What do they call that? Is it the rope?
It's like the golden rope.
Yeah,
golden rope.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Or even 307.
Yeah.
Right.
If I put that out there in where I live, I would be happy to see one, maybe two deer.
Right.
Like
that's what I'm actually hoping for when I put it out.
Exactly. Like it's not going to artificially get them to congregate.
Yeah.
Where
I wish it did. And I wish and maybe it does in other parts of the state, but where I live in northern Minnesota, I'm just hoping it brings that one deer in the county over to me.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've used those scents in southern Kansas and same thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
but you use them by your feeders.
but see now,
and you're in southern Kansas.
But see, it's the same concept.
Yeah. Well, you can shoot those 50-pound deer all day.
Well, that's funny. Last one
I would gladly shoot one of those 50-pound deer.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they got 50-pound racks.
40 of those pounds.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's where another debate comes in.
Yeah, for sure.
Is with that kind of stuff.
Right. And I think that's all valid questions.
It really is.
As hunters, I think, deer and deer hunting is important to all of us. And, we're going to look at it in different ways.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I think it's all valid questions.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
So if you're a scientist,
which we are not,
or somebody who's smarter than us,
which is most people,
and you have knowledge on this, either on either side or whichever,
right.
Please feel free to reach out and let's talk about it because we don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'd like to know more.
We're kind of at a wait and see at this point.
Right.
So give us your predictions. You know, what is this going to look like?
Yeah, I want a prediction for the next year so we can like test that in our lifetime. No, don't give me the 100 years down the road.
Remember Starship Troopers? Would you like to know more? That's what we should have.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that.
But like, what are your predictions? Do you guys think we're going to get a positive in Southwest?
I think we're going to get positives everywhere because I think it happens.
The more testing you do.
I guess I would be more surprised if we didn't than we did.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if we have them up here, which we have way fewer deer up here than they do, probably even, I'm not terribly familiar with Southwest, but I know they have more deer than we do, right?
Yeah.
Well, and
I mean, all the egg down there. And even in Northwest, they got more deer than we do.
Yep.
We live in an area with the lowest deer population, I believe. So if we have a positive, or I think we only had 2, but they have to have some down there.
You would think, right?
You would think.
So yeah, my main concern is just the 600 zones. I don't want to see more of them.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's southeast Minnesota, I get that. You know, we don't want to be Wisconsin. Just say that.
Right.
I mean, that should be their marketing. You don't want to be Wisconsin. Everybody's like, yeah, they're going to answer yes to that before they even think.
Right.
Minnesota DNR, fuck the Packers.
Right.
Actually,
we should be the marketing team for the Minnesota DNR. We might get them somewhere.
That might be one of their better slogans.
Yeah. Sarah, you can have that for free.
On top of
my
that,
phone thought I said Siri.
That's what happens when you have one of those weird phones.
On top of that, and I know we've talked about it many times, kind of changing over to the shotgun zone changes.
Yeah.
You can elaborate on that a little bit more, Jared, but to date, 13 counties have passed ordinances that are in effect for this season. Wow, that's a lot of words. But that will remain shotgun only.
Yep.
Or, well, shotgun, handgun.
The slug zone.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot to elaborate on there. You know, like the map is in the reg book that was just published. And yeah, you know, it was a big win, I think, to eliminate the slug zone.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have liked to see that be universal across Minnesota.
Give it time.
It's obviously not this year, but I think we will get there. You know? I think there's some hesitancy from some folks, and hopefully a year or two, they'll realize that it really has no impact.
Right. And they'll see that. And speaking of the reg book, we'll probably have some at our game fair booth.
Plenty.
Not this weekend, but the following weekend, right?
That's right.
We'll be at game fair both weekends. We'll have a booth. You can come on down and see that fancy new Arctic cat that you can win.
Heck yeah.
The Prowler.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the flow trailer.
I need to find that thing.
Yeah.
Where
We have one. I'm pretty sure we have one.
I've never seen it.
It's nice. It's beautiful.
I've seen
I mean,
pictures.
I got to take it. Well, I got to ride in it.
I offered for you to
I've seen
drive.
It's a nice machine.
You know what I will say?
What?
I've seen and I've pulled the flow trailer.
Hey, the flow trailers are
So
the best trailers.
I will be an advocate for that flow trailer.
Oh man, the Cargo Maxes are nice.
that thing
So
is
are the
gorgeous.
Versa Maxes because we have one at work that we use.
We do.
Yeah.
But that Cargo Max is pretty
Cargo
slick.
Max is nice. We're going to be giving one away.
I should have my kids here to do the pitch on.
You should.
the
You should.
Arctic
The
Cat,
Arctic
'cause
Cat, the Prowler.
They're obsessed with that.
I
thing.
think it is a great machine.
Yeah.
It's a great machine.
Yeah. We took it on.
It is one of the quietest side by sides I've ever been on.
Yeah. It's very quiet. I think they call it the Whisper Tech or something.
I don't know what it is, but man, that is you can have a conversation there, no problems.
Yeah.
Really? Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. But yeah, we took it on probably what did we do? 60 miles?
Oh yeah, it was quite a haul. We went for a rip on her on a trail.
Yeah.
And I was impressed.
Yeah. It's a great machine. Comfortable too.
Very comfortable,
Got the
very
chargers
quiet.
in there.
I mean, as a hunter, I love the fact that it's so quiet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that one has a nice bed in it too, right?
Yes.
It does.
Tilt
Yeah.
bed.
Tilt
Tilt
bed.
bed. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an 800, 812.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
kind of nice.
Mhm.
That's right. It is an 800.
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't know much about it because
3-cylinder, I
haven't
think,
seen it
isn't
yet.
it?
Yeah. You know, I got to find it. Like I said, it's at my house somewhere.
it's supposed to be a game
But we
fair.
will have it. I'm going to say this. I'm going to make a prediction. We're going to have it at Game Fair
Yeah.
with the flow trailer. So
Yeah.
Yes.
if you're at Game Fair, which there's a lot of people at Game Fair, I know it's going to probably be 1,000,000 degrees.
Yep.
stop by and check it out.
If you're not at game fair,
we'll have a Mr. Fan.
There you go.
And
Yes.
an Arctic Cat Prowler and a flow trailer.
if you've never been to game fair, you need to go.
Yes.
Stop by our booth.
It's a very cool facility. Everything, the vendors, the dogs. I mean, it's great.
Yeah, you can bring your dog.
Fun for all, all ages.
Yeah, we have a misting fan in our booth.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it's always super hot there. And
Yeah, and we're going to have some cool things. Yeah, we've got the tickets for or not tickets, but the entries for the Arctic Cat.
Yes.
yeah.
Yep,
Well, I mean,
so
the
that'd
best
be
thing is
nice.
come down, check out the Arctic Cat, check
Yeah.
out the flow trailer. You enter online, you can take it home.
Yeah.
It's a great machine. You want it. I want it.
Come ask us your toughest questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there might even be an incentive to sign up to be a member
Oh, yeah.
to
There
get
is.
some
sure there
entries
will be.
into more entries.
Right. If you come
into
down and
the
sign up to be an
Super Six.
MDHA member, we'll give you some entries and to win the Arctic Cat. So,
Yeah.
And we'll be unveiling our new education raffle this year there too.
Yeah.
Right.
So we'll have those tickets available.
I think we're also, I don't know if I can say this, but I'm gonna.
You should be able to.
We'll be unveiling a photo contest that we are collaborating
Yes.
on with a number
Oh, yeah.
of conservation organizations to celebrate our WMAs
Right.
here in the state of Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
that's right. That'll be coming out then.
budding photographers can win some prizes on that too, right?
That's right.
So there'll be more about that coming soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally forgot about that. We haven't talked about it in a few weeks. So
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I need to talk to my son, find out where he parked the Prowler.
Right. Actually, you sure it's still at your house? You were gone all weekend.
I was gone.
Might be at
Right.
my house now.
We did talk about that.
Yeah, and we'll also be. Since we're on Game Fair, we're going to have all that, and come ask us about how you can get a 50 BMG for $100.
They'll
Just come
probably-
ask us, and we'll tell you how.
Yep. There'll probably still be a few options
Mhm.
left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not many,
Nope.
but come and
They're
mention 50 BMG to us, and we'll let you know.
Yeah, because they're going fast.
And it would look great mounted on the roof of that Prowler.
Oh my gosh, that was kind of my plan.
Yeah, that's kind of like the zombie.
I wanted to set it up there just to show it off, but that thing's. I don't really want to carry it around all weekend.
I don't want to have it there all weekend.
I know, but if we had a fake one, we could just strap up there.
We could make one out of cardboard.
I could print one.
There we go.
Yeah.
We just put it on a long box or something. That's a good idea. I like that idea.
Yeah.
It's a good thing I thought of it.
Yeah. Look here.
Well,
Check
We're
this
doing
out.
that.
Yeah.
this really turned into a CWD episode.
It kind of did.
Do we
I was-
have more we want to talk about?
Well, I was just going to say, part of the new reg book is the waterfowl regulations are
Yeah,
merged
combined.
into it.
Right.
Love
yeah.
it.
Yeah. So
Love it.
that's kind of cool.
One more book to get wet.
I will say they need to put a deer on the cover, though.
They do.
Yes.
I love grouse hunting.
that is my
It turns out
complaint.
I do like duck hunting now.
Yep. That's my complaint, DNR, is you made one
Throw a
book for everything.
Buck on there.
But so you've got upland
Mhm.
with the grouse, you've got waterfowl with the ducks, but you don't have a deer.
Right. They do got a
Or
hunter,
even a
a dad
bear.
and a daughter hunter on there, but they have shotguns.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of disappointed, DNR, on that one. And then it talks about the new electronic licensing system,
That's a
which
big one.
which we have mentioned
We
before.
did. We
have.
talked about that.
We went over that, so we won't go into that whole detail. But that is a new
It's there.
big change.
It's going to be a big
Easy to
change.
use,
And people
but-
are going to be shocked in November. I guarantee there's going to be outrage in November,
Mhm.
even though we've talked about it for the last several months.
So I've got one complaint on that, not with necessarily the deer end of it. So my son just recently went through the ATV certificate course, everything like that. Passed it, flying colors. Thank you to the local ATV guys. I can't think of-
Rapids Riders.
There you go, Rapids Riders. That was an awesome day. I stayed for the whole day. It was great. But when I went to register through his system, so sign him up for the new system, and since he's under 18 without a driver's license, it's a little bit more complicated. Now, mind you, he's already put into the old system
Mhm.
with all his information. But with the new system, you still put that information in. But since he didn't have an ID, it kept kicking me out and giving me these warnings. Well, since he's under, 18, doesn't have an ID, you got to do this, this, this. I did that. It kept kicking me out until you do that certain things. So my advice is be a little bit patient. Try to do what it tells you, even though what you do doesn't correct it right away until it catches up or something. But I was getting really frustrated at first. And I was like, man, this is not easy. But then it finally, I hit the right buttons, I hit the right stuff, and then it finally worked. And then it was cool because then it populated everything.
Yeah.
Right.
But
old people often have trouble with new technology.
It wasn't that. I was following the rules.
If your peepaw is trying to sign up, trying to get a license, make sure you're there to help them.
Right.
What was funny is we went through all those tests before and they had us test this stuff. And I remember it's like, I already tested this.
Yeah. Right.
They supposedly fixed it.
Right.
Yeah, but that was like 2 weeks ago.
Well,
and you probably forgot.
We need to tell Joey he needs to get back in there and fix it again.
Yeah. And just because you know how to use a VCR doesn't mean you know how to use that thing.
And you do.
Has he learned the VCR already?
He did.
Nice.
It's the Blu-ray that gets me.
He pushed play and record to record.
The plus side is it does tell you on their instructions, they've already adapted their printed version to say, you've got to do this on a computer.
Yeah.
You can't do it mobile.
Right.
And then after that, then I had him download the mobile on his phone and boom. It was great.
Yeah.
Well, I just think that means that with this new system, there's going to be some growing pains. You should prepare for it, expect it.
Yes.
And don't be surprised in November when everybody in the world wants their hunting license and then they finally learn about it.
Right.
That there's going to be a lot of what going on.
Yeah. Like honestly, we're a week, not even a week out from licenses going on sale,
Right.
So
yeah,
get on there, explore, buy your license. Don't be one of the people that waits last minute and then has to figure this out,
Right.
like while you're sitting at deer camp the night before you're trying to go out hunting.
Yeah. When you drive up to your deer camp and you're like, I always stop at so-and-so. Well, they might not even sell license anymore.
Yeah.
And if they do, it's going to be just a regular old piece of paper.
Yep.
And your whole registration process on your deer is going to be completely different. So it's best to learn the system now, the best that you can. And there still might be issues like Dean just said.
Yep. There's still a few little bugs in it. Obviously, those that get worked out.
But you did work your way through it.
I did. Yeah. It just took me a little bit. It took a little bit of choice words, but I got it because I was like, I am not a smart man, but I'm not that ignorant either.
Are you talking about the ELS system or your wife's wedding bells?
Those are easy.
I
She
do.
wrote them.
Do I have to?
Yeah.
What?
There's music.
All right. So is there any other new regulations outside of the big ones with CWD and the licensing system? We know the shotgun one. We've been talking about that for a while. Nothing major, I don't think, is there? They always seem to sneak one in there on me, though.
Right. Those are the biggest ones.
Right.
For sure.
And they're big.
Yeah.
They're big.
But like, as always, get your reg book. It's free. Go to anywhere, pick up your reg book, look it over, know the regulations before you go out,
Right.
Ignorance is not an excuse.
No, your game warden, your conservation officer, whatever you call them, they do not accept that as an excuse.
That's right.
Mm-mm.
They did teach that in the class. I was like, oh, man, I can't use that one anymore. It's funny because my son looked around and looked at me. I was like, don't even look at me. Look at the CO.
Yeah. Trust me. Don't. And if you're at Game Fair, come by. We'll have some books there, I'm sure.
Yeah. We always
get a box of them.
Yep.
So we'll hand them out.
As long as they have them available, which they're supposed to. So they should.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be available Sunday.
I think there was one year that they were delayed and getting the boxes too.
We got them the second weekend.
Yeah. Yep. We did. Yeah.
Well, we'll go hunt them down.
Yeah.
We know where they have their booths.
Yep. So yeah, be sure to check us out on Game Fair. And then on top of that, Minbo. Full draw film tour
in Grand Rapids.
Yep.
At Rapids Brew.
Check it out. Get your tickets.
Yeah, you gotta get them. They're almost sold out. Go get a few now.
Yeah. Yep. And I think it's going to be a great evening. August 18th.
18th.
There we go.
6 o'clock, 6 p.m. Come in. You can get some food. You can get a drink. You can watch some hunting films, hang out. We'll have a good time. We'll make it fun.
Might even win a few things.
Yeah, we're going to have some door prizes. We'll probably even be giving away some Buck Brew beer. I don't know. But come down. I made that last part up, so that probably won't happen.
But be sure to check it out. Get your tickets. Come and enjoy an evening of cool hunting.
Bow hunting films.
Yep. So
yeah, we always got something going on. So come down, check it out. Get your tickets now.
Yeah.
Go to mnbowhunters.com. Look for the Full Draw Film Tour link, and you can get your tickets.
Yep. All right. I think that'll do it for today, huh?
I think so.
Yeah.
Tune in next week when we solve all the world's problems.
A scientist about CWD.
No. Next week we're figuring out the Iran war. Come back soon.
Hey, we'll figure something out.
The Minnesota Deer Hunters Association has been building our hunting and conservation legacy over the past 40 plus years through habitat, education, advocacy, and legislation in Minnesota for Minnesota.
The Minnesota Deer Hunters Association and wolf.report proudly sponsor this podcast. However, please note that the opinions, topics, and guests featured may not necessarily align with the views, beliefs, goals, or mission of our sponsors.
Need help and don't know where to turn? First Call for Help 211 connects you to free, confidential support, including dedicated veteran services for housing, food, and mental health, available 24/7. Just dial 211. Help starts with your first call.